Boy Chig from Junior Eagle Eye coming to again with a brand new video. This time we are talking everything MMA, boxing. And that's right, you are through to the Filthy Casual and Hardcore show where we talk you through all things UFC, all things boxing, and then we'll dabble with you guys in the chat and talk to you guys, go back and forth. Obviously, there's only one man I do the show with, and that is man like Ola. Say hello to the people, Ola.
What's happening, people? What's happening? It's so nice to see a number of people in the chat for the show. We never take you guys for granted, and we do this because of you guys. You get me?
Yeah, no worries, brother. All right, so for those of you guys, I've literally just finished a stream with Lee. If you're wondering, hold on, boxing, MMA, the Arsenal preview will come in an hour's time, but this is purely just MMA, boxing fans. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking through the 243 preview. We're going to be talking Israel Adyesanya, especially on a week where it was our Independence Day. So we are definitely going to be talking about that and really just going through a few items of agendas because I see Ola's got his notes, so you know he's come prepped already. So, Ola, take it away, brother. What do you want to hit on first?
I mean, the UFC coming up this weekend, man. It's big for us. It's big for us, especially the main event. But there's a couple of there's a couple of fights in there, you know, that you can't just look past that card and not talk about these fighters. And I'm talking about Iaquinta, Dan Hooker.
I mean, this or Iaquinta, because Hooker's ranked 15 and Iaquinta is ranked 5, I believe.
Yeah,
155 division.
In the lightweight, in the lightweight division. But the thing is, Iaquinta, the reason why it's ranked that high, we know the adversity is faced. To me, he's the only one that's had, for me, the best performance yet with Khabib, because it took him the whole way. Didn't get choked out, didn't get jumbled on, you know. And I feel, even though they say Khabib lost a round to Conor, I give him that. But this guy actually gave Khabib a fight throughout the whole round. So to me, Iaquinta is a very, very established fighter. He's put people like Kevin Lee, you know what I mean? He's gone through people like that. And when you look at that division is stacked with killers. But Dan Hooker has been tearing up the place as well. He's a knockout artist, and he's just one of those guys that on his day, he will make you look silly. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter how bad you are, what your name is. On his day, he will make you look silly, and he's gonna be in his environment. You know, he's from New Zealand. There's this New Zealand Australian thing going on, so he's gonna want to rep for that part of the world. And as far as it's concerned, Iaquinta is coming to his backyard, and when you look at what he comes with, proper striker, ground and pound is heavy. He goes, his offense is a mad one. He's just one of those guys you can't look past him. And I think give him 2-3 more fights, especially against, if he goes and gets himself a victory against someone like Iaquinta, obviously he's going to start being in that conversation to see Khabib, because right now there's a lot of people in the queue, but he can put himself on that list of people that really want to get to see Khabib. So you know, it makes a good pathway for him, because Iaquinta right now, where he is, we always call the people that are like 5th in the rankings. What do we call them, Chig? They're like the gatekeepers, yeah. These are the guys that. So if you
do you feel like Iaquinta is a gatekeeper at this point?
I don't feel he's a gatekeeper, but he's sitting in the ranking of a gatekeeper, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the ranking of a gatekeeper, but I think Iaquinta is just one of those guys that on his day he will batter the hell out of you. And but we know how I don't think Conor wants it with someone like Iaquinta. I really don't. Exactly. You know what I mean? Even though Conor's sitting in a higher ranking than him, I don't think he wants it with someone like Iaquinta.
He doesn't want it with Gaethje. Never mind fucking Iaquinta.
There you go. So these are the type of things that we're talking about, where he's sitting in the ranking of a gatekeeper, but I don't see him as a gatekeeper. I see him as one of the top contenders in that division, and that's how mad that division is. But if Dan Hooker gets a victory against someone like Iaquinta, you know for definite his name is going to be thrown into that conversation for at least, if not interim title, maybe to go speak to Khabib and see if they can throw it down. So it's a very, very exciting fight.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight. I feel as though, for me, I would say all day long Iaquinta. If it was anywhere else in the world, I would have said all day long. I just think Iaquinta's too experienced, too savvy, and I think would just teach him a bit of a lesson. But I just feel like on this day and taking this fight, I think was a mistake from Iaquinta. And I think because of that, I think Hooker gets the job done. Probably by third round TKO.
Bro, I can't believe it's like you're reading my mind. I feel the same way as well. I think Hooker gets the job done. I think, I'm thinking third round TKO. Because Hooker rarely does decisions. He rarely does decisions. So Iaquinta is a decision guy.
Iaquinta's tough. So you got to give him at least a couple of rounds.
He's a decision guy, exactly. He will hang in there. And he'll take any fight to decision. So it'll be very, very interesting to see. The other guy, the other fight on my agenda is Holm and Raquel Pennington. That's another big one on there. We know Holm, right? Oh, is it been taken off the card? It's Megan Anderson.
Yeah, Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson's taking her place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Megan Anderson that's coming in. Yeah, from what I'm looking at now. Yeah, it's Megan Anderson.
Because Holm pulled out with an injury it was very, very recently, maybe yesterday, day before. She pulled out with an injury, and they cancelled the fight. I was wondering who would step up. Megan Anderson, that could be a big opportunity for her. I love her because, let's be real here, she's gorgeous. For me, she needs a big win though. She's taken some hefty losses. She needs a massive, massive win, and I think Pennington could be a good fight for her. I think she was comprehensively beaten by Holm when those two faced. Yeah. But I think if Megan Anderson start, especially now that Cyborg's gone, someone like a Megan Anderson can step up and step into potentially that void, but she needs to improve her all-round game. I think it would be a good fight for her, and I expect her to win. I didn't know she'd stepped up into this spot, so excellent opportunity for her.
100%. And look, UFC gives opportunities. They leave the door open. If you grab it with both hands, you're gonna reap the rewards. And it's just one of those where. Remember when Robert Whittaker pulled out with the hernia? It's the only reason Gastelum and Israel was able to get the interim belt title fight going on. So if somebody pulls out with injury, they just called Israel Adyesanya. Let's not forget, Israel got signed last February, and I'm going into Israel now because I'm kind of done with the girls now. Let's get into the meat and potato of why we're here. Yeah? let's get into the meat and potato of why we're here. I mean, look, this guy got signed last February, and just look at the rise. He's had 7 fights since then.
Active, real active,
very active, very, very active. 6-7 fights. The guy fights smart. You know, the bobbing and weaving that he does. I mean, we were disappointed when we saw the fight between him and Anderson Silva, right? And it's not because he didn't do enough, and it's not because we don't respect Anderson Silva's gangster. It's because of the manner of the finish. We thought he's the guy to go and retire Anderson Silva and make him stop thinking about fighting. But obviously, it didn't end up like that. So, but the respect was still there, and you could see that everything that Anderson Silva was bringing, Israel was just that 1 step, 2 step better than what Silva was bringing. And Anderson Silva is no mug. You know, he's a very, very experienced fighter, albeit he's old, but he's still very, very experienced. And if he catches the right fighter, it could put their lights out. So he goes to Kevin Gastelum, and the way that fight ended up, especially the 5th round. If you remember the 5th round, knocks him down 4 times. Knocking him down 4 times is no one's done that to Gastelum before. Put it like that. No one's ever done that to that guy. And when that guy hits you, he hits like a Mack truck. But having said all of that, Robert Whittaker, 2 fights in the last couple of years, right? But let's look at the guys that he's beat. Let's look at the guys that he's been put in front of him.
Yo Romero twice. Romero twice.
Yo Romero twice. And to beat him with a broken hand in the first round, in the first fight, and beat him with a broken foot in the second fight is absolutely ridiculous. This guy is as tough as they come. He beat Jacare Souza. Right, I was watching Embedded the other day, and he was sat down there with his coach talking about how scared he was of Jacare Souza. But if you saw what he did to him in the octagon, you'd think to yourself, "Hold on, I thought you just said you were scared of this guy." You know what I mean? And when he gets in the octagon, it's beast mode. Now, the thing with Whittaker, to me, is like the Justin Gaethje of the middleweight, in the way of he can soak pain. He can soak pain. Anybody that can fight with broken hand and broken foot for 25 minutes. Let's not forget those fights ended up in decisions. So it went like I broke my hand, and in the 3rd round I knocked him out with the other hand. He went brutal 25 minutes with Yo Romero twice with broken bones. If you can do that, there's nothing that they put in front of you that you can overcome. But the thing is, he hasn't fought in 2 years. You know what I mean? And when you've been out of the octagon like that with somebody that's as active as Adesanya has been, it's a problem. Israel is a problem to anybody right now. Is a big, big problem, and I'm looking forward to see how Robert solves that problem. Well, how do you see it going out? How do you see it panning out?
Yeah, for me, I just echo a lot of what you said. I think Robert is extremely tough, very game, very gritty, very clever in little shots that he does. His movement, I think, is what helps him through most of his fights. So you can see why he takes a lot of time off in between his fights, because you can imagine if his knee is not working well or his joints are not working well, that's the main part of what he uses to win fights. So if those are not working, he's going to need it. To me, I think he's very clever. Still probably the most underrated world champion on the roster. Criminally so as well, because I think he's a good fighter. Having said that, I do think that he's underrated, but I also think he's beatable. I still think that Yo beat him in the second fight. I don't know how they marked that, how they judged that, because every time I watch a replay of that fight, Yo to me looks like the winner. The first fight, I agree with. I thought Robert won that. To me, the second fight all day was Yoel Romero.
I did think that as well. It's a very, very controversial decision, but it's one of those.
But to me, I think for Adesanya, and to be honest, I like Adesanya, and I don't want people to think I'm biased. So I will say this to say this. Whilst I expect him to win, would it shock me if he didn't? No. Because the one thing I was a little bit concerned with in that Galstrom fight is, oh shit, you are easy to hit, son. Like, you are easy to hit. Because many people compare him to Jon Jones. Listen, as much as I hate Jon Jones, this motherfucker is a master. He is a craftsman in that fucking cage. And very rarely, other than his last fight, really, he very rarely gets hit. Very, very rarely. And listen, it is by no coincidence that when you think about these combat sports, the people who have the longest careers are the motherfuckers that don't get hit. Floyd Mayweather, when you look at your Andre Wards, you look at people that do not get hit. That is the art of fighting, to hit and not be hit. And I think that Adesanya has excellent skill, very, very skilled, very, very accomplished. But it does worry me that he does like being tagged on that face. Now, conversely, I could say he also has a hell of a chin, because I ain't never seen him be knocked over or anything like that. The motherfucker can clear. That's some Nigerian steel right there. You can take a hit or so. But to me, that does worry me moving forward with fights. Now, going into this fight, Robert Whittaker doesn't have the sort of power that's going to concern me. And that's why I expect Adesanya to win this. But when he's facing someone like that, big lump, steroid boy.
Paulo Costa. I know you. I know you're already looking ahead at Paulo Costa, man. Them man there's like light heavyweight, man. They look like heavyweights, man. You know what I mean? Those guys ain't me.
Scares the fuck out of me. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like that for Israel at all. But moving into this fight, I think for all the reasons you said, Israel is too active. He's very, very skilled. He looks extremely determined. Clearly, the company are absolutely behind him. And for me, I ain't frowning on that. Listen, Nigeria boy is my guy. I back him. It was our Independence Day yesterday. Come on, Niger. Let's go. We got this. Let's go.
Gotta bring that belt. Gotta bring that belt home, man. Gotta bring it home. And the other thing that's really, really going on between both of them right now is, as far as I didn't know this up until now, but as far as I've always known Robert Whittaker as a fighter, he's always repped Australia. Now, in the build-up to this fight, the man starts to claim New Zealand. So he's got the whole Australian crowd behind him, and all of a sudden, the man's talking about, I'm born here in New Zealand, I just grew up in Australia. So there's that beef going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
There's that beef going on right now where Israel's telling him that, listen, stay on your side of the line. Don't come out here and start trying to claim New Zealand. He said, listen, everybody knows where I'm from. I've never disowned my native land back home from Africa, yeah? You disowned where you said you was born and claim somewhere else. So those that coming over like some politician, trying to gain clicks and likes and everything, yeah, and doing all this media stuff, talking about how you was born here in New Zealand and you love your heritage and all of that. Shut the fuck up. Go back to Australia. We meet at the Marvel Stadium and we're going to throw down there. And to me, that in itself excites me. But we know Robert Whittaker is not no trash talker. He don't talk trash, you know. And this is the thing with these guys.
Go on.
So this is the thing with these guys. Yeah, we know the company, UFC, as an entity, Dana as a promoter, not the owner, a promoter, and the president of the UFC. We know one thing for sure: if you can sell fights with talking shit, they're gonna get behind. They're gonna get the machine behind you. And Israel is so good at that, so good at this stuff. So to them now, they're looking forward to who's more marketable. Even Paulo Costa, as we're talking, he can't really bring the English trash talk and all of that, even if he gets to be champ. So the machine right now is behind Israel, because let's face it, Conor is kind of fading away. Yeah. Khabib, nobody can take the thing off him, and he don't trash talk. So we got two man literally left. All right, I'll throw Triple C in there. I'll throw Cejudo in there.
You're right. He doesn't do it well.
Yeah. I'll throw Cejudo in there right now, man. But Jon Jones, Israel, and Cejudo, these guys are selling fights. Everybody wants to see them. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to see them in some kind of combat with whoever it is they've been talking trash to. So these are the guys that moving forward now. I think UFC is really, really behind them. We don't really have that person in the women's division now that really talks that talk. Joanna Jedrzejczyk was that girl for me that really talks that talk.
Speaking of which, what do you think of that fight? Because that's next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one because I've not seen her for a minute. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen her for a minute, but it'll be nice. I don't even know how that's gonna go down. But
every bit as much as I love Megan Anderson, Michelle Waterson is my girl.
Yeah,
she is. Oh,
but since
she's tough. She's a tough little gritty.
Oh yes, she's a tough customer. Tough customer. You know, he's just one of those. I mean, all right, spring it on me now. If I had to go with one of those two, I'll have to go with Waterson because she's on a winning streak. She's on that winning streak.
It's funny you say that. I would have gone with Jedrzejczyk.
Yeah, she's on that winning streak.
I hope Waterson wins, but I'm just being honest. I think Jedrzejczyk wins that.
I mean, I just felt sorry for Joanna in her last fight. I mean, just fighting with Shevchenko, man. It's like, what are we doing here? Like Dana. And I think that's why Dana would not allow Conor to go anywhere near Masvidal, because he saw what Shevchenko did to Joanna. You can't. That's why I say he's too big for you. He's way too big. So if doing that to Conor, he's just gonna kill
Dana
him.
was absolutely right.
He was spot on. Because
especially the way Jorge's fighting now. Come on.
He was absolutely spot on. Bringing Conor to Jorge right now is like, come on, it's suicide for Conor's career. Absolute suicide. And I feel like Masvidal is gonna do the same thing that Shevchenko did to Joanna in that fight. Just ragdoll her for 5 rounds. She didn't even go and try to kill her. She just knows I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you. I can throw you around, I can do what I want. And she had control of her. I've never seen someone dominate Joanna like that for an entire 5 rounds. It's crazy. So to me, what's her mental state right now? And I'm not sure what her mental state is like. And for someone like Waterson that's on the up, she's hungry, and you know she gets down, she throws down, she gets amongst, and she gets busy. She gets busy, and she can take that fight anywhere. The ground, she can strike. So I don't see how Joanna. I don't see how she does this. I don't see her winning this. She's on the 3, 4, 5 losing streak right now. You know what I mean? This is someone that didn't get beat for nearly 10 years. You know, she was that active and defended her title. And I'm sorry, the time's gone. Just like Aldo, you know, people like Eden Barao, people like Aldo, people like Joanna that defended the title for that. Your time's gone. It's over. You know, there's new hungry lions, new hungry wolves that are ready to eat. And they're fearless. They're fearless right now. And they're coming for that spot. And you know, even if these guys take the rankings very seriously, pound for pound. They want to be that pound for pound. You know, they almost value that more than the actual title. Can you believe that? They almost value that more than the actual belt. That's how much. That's how important it is for these people. So, as far as Joanna is concerned, I don't see it happening. But it's good that somebody believes in her. You know, you do, and rightfully so, because she has the skills.
I think she's got too much skill for Michelle. I hope I'm wrong. I just think she'll roll back the clock. G the Pizza, I know you've asked that a few times on my streams about what I think about Spence Porter. That'll be the last thing that I close with, just so you know. So I'll give you an answer then. Dan T. Now, this is interesting because I only saw this before I went on a stream with Lee, and that is, have you seen the amount of weight that GSP has lost? He's definitely looking for that Khabib fight.
It's a big money fight. It's a big money fight. Dropping all that muscle mass. Yeah, I mean, they both respect each other so much. I think, why wouldn't GSP want to fight Khabib right now? Because if they both have the same beliefs, the same ideals, the same morals, the same combat respect that you're supposed to show to an opponent, and it'll be interesting. But I don't think. Do you think if, say, Khabib loses to Ferguson, for example, do you think that fight still happens between Khabib and GSP? Do you think it'll be as big as well?
Nah, I think GSP likes the idea that he could challenge for a title, because I did, to answer Dan T's question, I did see that it was on GSP's Insta, and he's been on a water diet or something like that. He's lost mad weight. Like, not that he needed to lose weight before, but he looks proper shrunken down. Considering he fought at middleweight against Bisping, which was his last fight, he looks.
Yeah, he was heavy. He looks hench. He looks hench in that fight.
He looks a shadow of himself right now. So the belief is that he's done this. You only do something drastic like this if you're either playing a movie role or you're eyeing a fight. And I don't think he's doing a movie. So I think it's a fight. I think he wants this Khabib fight. I think most fans hope Tony gets his shot first.
The thing with this as well, and I'm thinking Khabib, not Khabib, GSP is probably of that thinking as well, that this fight between Khabib and Tony Ferguson is cursed, because they've tried to make this fight 5 fucking times.
5 times, yeah.
5 times they've tried to make this fight, and if for whatever reason something happens, I think GSP wants to be in shape and ready to get on the scales and go.
What I hope is that it's not riddled. It's not like the Khan versus Kell Brook fight, where they tried to make the fight so fucking much that is, at this point, I actually don't give a damn if Amir Khan and Kell Brook fight. I was once really excited by them fighting. Now I could not care less. I could not care less if they fought. And I don't think it will ever get to that point with Khabib and Ferguson, but I just don't want them to delay it further. I get the kind of idea that, you know, Ferguson is the biggest threat to Khabib. Incidentally, I also think Gaethje is a massive threat to Khabib. But to me, I don't see Gaethje ever getting the fight. I honestly believe Khabib has 2 more fights in him, and that's GSP, Ferguson,
and Tony,
and then he's out.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Conor ain't getting no rematch. I think the company will want to do that fight, but I just think that Conor at this point is more of an internet troll than he is a fighter, and he needs to have some sort of significant win before people. And him talking about how he wants to fight. What's his name? What is that little man's name? He wants to fight.
Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Edgar. It's like, bro. what's the watch that?
That made me chuckle when I heard that, man. I thought, come on now. Well, you tell what Frankie Edgar is what we're talking about right now. Like, come on. If you really think you're about that life, why don't you go speak to Max? Go talk to Max, innit? You know what I mean? See if you're really that guy. If you're really that guy, go talk to Max. Speak to Max Holloway.
I think if Nate beats Jorge, almost certainly the trilogy fight will happen. Almost definitely. Because that's another fight that will do big business.
Because we're talking novelty fights now, isn't it? So if we want to talk novelty fights, super fights, in and around that doesn't have nothing to do with titles, then absolutely Conor can go and fight some of these guys. You know what I mean? That I think would a lot of the fight fans would want to see. You know, right now everybody wants to see Conor get beat up, and that's because of him laying hands on that old guy in the pub. You know what I mean? So everybody wants to see Conor get to, you know what I mean? Someone teach him a lesson, and there's nobody that I feel is more guaranteed to teach him that lesson. When I mean guarantee, I mean guaranteed than Khabib. You know what I mean? And that's the only reason I'd be interested in that fight. But it has to take obscene, and I mean obscene amount of money to even get Khabib to get anywhere into taking that fight. You know, it's got to be obscene money. And, you know, that kind of money can be put down. These guys in Abu Dhabi, man, they got friends in high places that would that wouldn't mind that kind of fight to be brought back to Qatar, and they'll pay big dollars for that to happen. So, you know, you just never know. I wouldn't rule it out, but I just think it's unlikely, especially for title. I think it's very, very unlikely.
Okay. Definitely Tony Khabib. I'm gagging for it. I think most people are. Most people want to see that fight, just because it's so intriguing as to what may happen. Okay. At least you guys have stopped talking about fucking Alexa Bliss from WWE. I feel that conversation. Fuck it out, guys. Please do stick a like on the video there. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Is there anything else on your pointer list that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, no, say that again. Say that again. You just cut off that from.
I'll get your opinion on that.
Jon Jones, who?
And his coach. And they're having
beef. I saw the I mean, I don't know, man. Jon Jones is Jon Jones, and this is what I'm trying to say. This guy is a walking drama. You know, who knows? Jon Jones could be snitching on his coach. He could say his coach knew all about his transgressions the whole time. Jon Jones could be pointing his coach out. You know, this is the kind of thing that follows Jon Jones around. Jon Jones is just, to me, it's just crazy, man. But he's who he is. I've now, like I said to you, as long as Jon Jones is active and doesn't go away from the UFC, whatever craziness he's dealing with, and he stays active, I'm happy. I'm cool because one thing as a fight fan that I want is for the best fighters to stay in the game. You know, I want the best fighters to always be in the game, stay active, unless it's down to injury, then that's out of your control. You know. But when it comes to drugs and stuff, that pisses me the fuck off, because we're missing out on the fight experience that is meant to be giving us as fight fans. You know, so as long as Jon Jones is active, I'm happy with whatever he's doing. You know what I mean? Just stay away from drugs, beating people up, going to jail, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Just stay ready for another fight. The one that I really, really want to see, hopefully if it happens, is him and Johnny Walker. And I think if Johnny Walker gets past this guy, that could be the the next opponent for Jon Jones. So,
Speaking
but as
of
far
which,
as
what do you think about the fights at the weekend? The main event in particular. Gerald Cannonier versus
yeah, I mean Cannonier. Look, I expected that. I expected Cannonier to do what he did. I mean, this guy is a fucking knockout artist. As my brethren Will is on Twitter. Billy Bad, that's his Twitter name. I had a £20 bet with him that Cannonier was gonna beat Hammerson. You know what I mean? And it ended up like that. The one that I was really disappointed with was Oliveira and Notby. So I was disappointed with that one, but I expected Cannonier to go and get the job done. And again, is a problem for that division. This guy on his night can knock anybody out. He is a gorilla. No joke thing. This guy is King fucking Kong. He is dangerous. And when it gets to the point where, you know, they can't deny him access to title to challenge for the title, I wouldn't rule him out. I wouldn't rule that guy out. He's that dangerous. So, but yeah, I expected him to do what he did to Hammerson. And Hammerson, you know, to beat him in his backyard. You know, it was in Finland. Was it Finland? Finland or Denmark? One of those two, anyways. I know he's from that neck of the woods, and to go down to his backyard and put him away like he did, is very. I know, but this guy don't even get knocked out that much, but to get put away like he did from Cannonier. Cannonier is something special, man. Very special athlete. Very, very special.
Agreed. Just let's talk about a couple of fights that were made. So Colby and Usman are finally going to dance.
Yeah.
Remember?
Happy with that, man. I'm happy that fight finally got done. You know, what's your feeling towards that?
I still haven't changed my mind. I still think Colby will do it, unfortunately.
God damn it.
My gut feeling tells me I don't know.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for feeling like that, though. I really don't blame you for feeling like that, because I think we've both been on the same wavelength about Colby now, that we're warming to him. We know he gets down. We know he's a very, very busy fighter. Not a knockout artist, but he throws in volume, and his body of work just tells it all. You go and look at the people he's put away. He talks the talk, and unfortunately, he backs it up. So
you're struggling to give him compliment.
You know what I mean? I'm struggling, but I have to. Based on what he's been doing.
I don't necessarily mind who talks shit. For me, though, it needs to convert into something. So when your numbers are still piss poor, then it's like, well, why are you still talking shit then? Because it's not working for you. But actually, it is. It's just working in different ways. It's got him a title shot. People want to see him get badly hurt. I just don't think Usman is the guy you think of when you think of, I want Colby to get badly hurt. Like, there was a reason why people were looking forward to that Woodley fight so much. They had the history. Tyron, we know, has that power, that explosive power that I still got a feeling would beat Colby, that type of power.
Yeah.
And I think most people would have just was salivating at the idea that this knocked out.
I mean, Tyron could just touch you, and it's either a knockdown or a fucking knockout. One of the two is happening if he touches you in the right way, if he connects in the right way. I mean, I can't wait to see Tyron back in the octagon. But right now, this fight between Covington and Usman could bring Tyron back into the frame.
I do agree with Adam here, though. I do think that Usman is probably stronger and would have more power. But I just see that being... I do see it being a dull fight, to be honest. But I'm hoping.
I actually don't think it's going to be a dull fight. Yeah, it's going to be master of wrestling and grappling, and whoever's better at that is going to win on the night. The only thing that Colby has over Usman is the volume of throws that is going, because that if it goes to five, if it goes throughout the whole 5 rounds, the judges are going to be looking for who's advancing more, who's more busier, and and significant strikes. And Colby does a lot of that. The thing with Usman is, and this is where it could well get over Covington, is the thing with Usman is the way he takes people down. Not many people can resist him. Tyron Woodley had the most takedown defense in that division up until Usman got hold of him and just kept him down for 5 rounds and just battered him for 5 rounds. So, and right now they're saying Covington's probably got the second highest takedown defense in that division as well. So he doesn't get taken down a lot. But I think if Usman gets his grappling right, he definitely could keep him down there, because that's one way to annihilate how busy Covington could get. Keeping him down there, taking him down, keep him down there, and just beat up on him. So we're going to see how it goes. But those two definitely is a very, very interesting fight. The fight I wanted to see. And, these two guys know each other from long time ago. You know what I mean? They went to the same uni and all of that stuff. So it's not like they only just knew each other from joining UFC. I mean, they went to the same wrestling schools in Nebraska and all of that bollocks with Ben Askren and all of them. Tyron Woodley. They all went to the same schools, the same wrestling schools and all of that. So they know each other very, very well. Very well. So they're not going to be new to each other. I'm sure of it. So,
the only thing I would say is it's probably the only thing that encouraged me a little bit for Usman is that Usman, up until he became champion, had been chasing this Colby fight. Like, he'd been chasing this Colby fight. And Colby was pretending like he didn't know who he was, and this, that, and the other. And Colby's only talked about fighting him since Usman became champion.
Chig would dominate Lee. Fucking hell, Adam Rollins, man. You're killing my here.
I'm seeing that. I'm seeing these lot in the chat. I mean, these guys, honestly.
Shout out to that guy, man. He made me laugh there. Yeah, carry on. Sorry about that.
Colby's an idiot, but has great technique. Exactly. That's my concern. Listen, me and Ola disagree on this one. I think Colby will win. I don't want him to, but as you said, don't be fooled by this idiot. He is a very, very skilled technician in that cage. And I think it's that worries me. But like I said, the thing that encourages me is that Usman has chased his fight. So he's aware of the skills and the qualities that Colby brings and still believes he can beat him. So that's the only thing that makes you think, okay, maybe he's got this. The last thing from me in terms of an MMA thing that I wanted to ask you very quickly was, so obviously there's rumors that there was a big debate a couple of weeks ago, really, from Bisping brought up this rumor, and that was that, the fact that Cormier may decide to just forget this Jon Jones fight and focus on the Stipe rematch if he's only got one fight left in him. Let me ask you a question. Daniel Cormier has one fight left in him. He wants to retire before he's 42 or whatever it is, 41 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he decides he's got two options. Dana said, all right, cool. I'll either give you Jones or I'll give you Stipe. But because I respect you so much, you can choose.
I'll let you choose.
Who would you want Daniel to pick?
Who do I want Daniel to pick, or who do I think Daniel will pick?
Give me both answers for the sake of argument.
Right. Who I want Daniel to pick? I'd want him to pick Jones at heavyweight. But who do I think he'll pick? I don't want to see DC and Jones at light heavy. I don't want to see that fight. I've been there, done that. Put the t-shirt on, dump the t-shirt. I want to see a heavyweight. So if that fight was to happen, I only want to see a heavyweight. Not that if it happens at light heavy, I won't watch it because I'm a fight fan. But I only want to see a heavyweight. But who do I think DC would pick? I think he'll pick Stipe because of what he said after the fight. Okay. Disobeying his coach, not following the game plan, letting down his family. I think it hurt him more than it put on. And his dad, his father just died as well at the time of the Stipe thing. And I think he'd want to correct all of that for those reasons, especially not listening to his coaches, because they keep telling him, take the fight to the ground, just wrestle him. But he wanted to stand and bang with Stipe. And when Stipe realized, there's a lot of body here, and start connecting with that body shot, before we know it, he shot his lights out. So he would feel if the fight had been on the ground, Stipe doesn't even have the opportunity, the capabilities of even getting any kind of body shots on him. And he knows he's a much better wrestler than Stipe. You see the way he lifts Stipe up, and I thought he broke his neck. You know what I mean? I thought he broke the man. Did you see the way he lifted him up and just threw him on the ground? Yeah. DC knows he's capable of doing that to Stipe, but he didn't listen to his coaches, and he felt he let his coaches down, and his family down, and his father down. That's passed away. So if there's a fight that he would choose, I think he'll choose the Stipe fight just to correct it and go out into the sunshine.
And to be honest, that's the fight I hope he picks. For the simple reason that, like Dan T says, he's 2-0 down to Jones. Even if he beats him, it'll bother him that he still let him have that second victory, you know, because I think when people get that redemptive victories because they're beaten in the first time, a good example is Michael Bisping. Fucking Rockhold absolutely staunched him the first time. Bisping thought, all right, 2 weeks, I'll take that world title shot at 2 weeks' notice, and absolutely knocked him the fuck out in the rematch. When it's 1-1, you can hold your head up higher, you can go off into the sunset. Even if DC was to take that Jones rematch, it's just like, so I beat him the first time. And whereas the Stipe fight, there's two factors at play here. There's a genuine rubber match. And then secondly, he can beat fucking Stipe. Like, he knows he can beat Stipe. He's beaten him first time. And the second time, it was all Cormier until he got tired and then just allowed Stipe to just come back into the fight and start teeing off on him. So I think, and I hope he'll take the Stipe rematch, and I expect him to win that fight should he take it.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't even bet against DC. I think DC is going to correct his mistakes. I think he has more tools in the box to do Stipe. I think the one mistake he made was believing the hype of the last fight, because he knocked out Stipe standing up, and he felt he could do it again and stand and bang with him. But no two fights are the same. It don't matter if you fight, no two fights. You could have a rematch or like 10 times. The two fights ain't gonna be the same. We've been fight fans long enough to see that no two fights are the same. So I think thank you very much, Dante. To me, I just think DC will want to correct all of that, but Stipe is a hell of a fighter, man. He's a hell of a champion. He's one of the best, if not the best heavyweights that's ever graced the UFC. So it's gonna be a big one, and it's a shame that a fight like that is not gonna command the type of gates and the type of pay-per-view money that Jon Jones at heavyweight and what DC would love to retire with, because we all knew that DC was trying to chase the paper, and that's why I went after Brock Lesnar. But the next best thing to get to Brock Lesnar's kind of money is Jon Jones. But for the legacy. And I believe that DC believes in legacy, and for the legacy, I think he'd want to correct this fight because he knew he made a mistake not listening to his corner. So he definitely want to correct it. So yeah, I hope it happens. I hope we know this. We know Dana. Dana listens to DC. Whatever DC wants, he gives it to him. So I don't see this not happening. And you know, Stipe is a gentleman. He knows, obviously, DC was chasing the money, but him getting the rematch from DC before, because DC said, listen, if I don't fight Brock Lesnar for the money that he was obviously chasing, it's definitely Stipe. You know what I mean? So he let Stipe know that right from the jump. If it's not Lesnar, it's you. So I think Stipe will give him the same respect back and allow the trilogy to happen.
Quickly answer Adam's question before we wrap up and get up out of here.
Chig Ola, what has been your favorite knockout? Mine was Holmes versus Rousey until Jones get knocked out. There's been a few. Ooh.
The Korean zombie one was my one.
Yeah, Rodriguez. That was crazy. Was
funky as fuck.
That was crazy. Yeah, that's one of the most unorthodox one there. I mean, knockouts. I'll have to go with Nunes Cyborg. I mean, Cyborg's face dropping into the mat. Yeah, that one there. Nobody saw that happening. I just saw a bloodbath. You know, two Brazilians. I mean, Nunes stepping up two weight division. Everything around that fight. Just I'll get goosebumps right now. Just and it's ended Cyborg's career in the UFC as well. It's crazy, man. That's the significance of that knockout. There's so many things that knockout there. It's got to be Nunes Cyborg.
Okay. Okay. Well, what was I gonna say? Do you have anything else that you wanted to mention?
No. I think we're just about done. Unless you want to throw in some of your boxing questions that your guys, the guys in the
yeah. So for me, I didn't disagree with the outcome. Let's put it that way. I know a lot of people were shocked and surprised that Errol Spence won a split decision against Porter. One thing is for certain, I didn't expect the fight to be as close as it was. Having said that, credit to Spence because he's already come out and offered Porter a rematch, which goes to show you, that he clearly had an off night that night for whatever reason, and he's already gone to Porter and said, you know what, fair fucking play, let's have a rematch. So to me, I'm happy with that. I like Errol Spence, although I do think Terence Crawford is better. I think he wins that fight if they ever get around to making that fight. But yeah, to me, I'm happy with that. I know lots of people kept asking me that question about what I thought of the fight. It was a good fight. It was closer than I thought, but it was a good fight. In terms of AJ, so I know people are telling me, what do I think about the edgier AJ? For me, I am fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. I'm fine with it. You mentioned this several times on our show, and I think we've gone back and forth on WhatsApp talking about it. To me, I don't like this friendly "you hold my belt" shit. I don't like that. I don't like that stuff because to me, you're already giving somebody a taste of what they could have. No, motherfucker, you gotta earn it to touch my belts.
Yeah,
earn it to touch my belts. And I think he unwittingly lit a fire in him as soon as he did that. And then look at what happened. To me, he's now taking the fight seriously. The camp is long. It's going to be hard. It's going to be gritty. He looks determined. He looks focused. And I picked AJ to win on points. But I don't think it's going to be easy. Would have surprised me if he has to pick himself off the ground again. But I do believe he'll win and win convincingly.
Have you seen the amount of weight he's dropped? The amount of he's dropped so much weight, and hopefully that's probably going to help him with his movements in the ring, because I just thought it was a bit labored with what it was, what it was doing with Ruiz. But for me, I think the return, again, no two fights are the same. We know that. But Ruiz knows where his weakness is.
Yeah.
And this guy got fast hands.
Yeah.
He's got fast hands. And that's the one thing. Everybody that's been following Ruiz from day, they say, don't watch what Ruiz looks like. Watch his hands.
Yeah.
His hands are
we said that
fast.
In the preview. We said that in the preview, that to me, my only worry was the fast hands. But he has slow feet. So if I'm AJ, this is what worries me a little bit, because his coaches, and I've said this before, were telling him to put his hands up and throw the punches from up here. And every time he did that, he was slow off the mark. Ruiz was able to avoid shots easily, comfortably, no problem. Where AJ had success was when he dropped his left hand. Because when you drop your left hand and you are the shorter guy, you have less time to see punches coming. You have to move your feet quickly, which he can't do. And that's my concern, is that his coach is telling him the exact wrong thing to do against Andy Ruiz. And that's my only worry. I am hearing that AJ's getting lots of little advice and he's getting like little parts to his team. The other part I don't like, but this is more of a long-term concern, is his team too fucking big. Why is there 40 or 50 people in his dressing room before fights? Fuck that. Get rid of most of them people.
Man's trying to move like Floyd, man. He's trying to move like Floyd out here.
No. A lawyer does not need to be in a dressing room before a fight. Like, just relax. Get these people out of there. This is my worry. So I knew someone was going to turn the don't let anyone touch your belts.
They try.
We've got definitely not on this thing today. So in the chat,
oh my god.
Let's leave these motherfuckers to it. But last call on the main event.
I don't know, man. May the best man win.
And the best man win. You don't believe in your boy Israel no more, no?
Obviously, I'm backing him. Look, there's nothing more than wanting a defending champion to win in October and an interim champion to unify the belt in October. Do you know what that means for the nation? Green, white, green. Do you know what that means? It's heavy. It's everything. It's everything. You know what I mean? So obviously, I want those guys to win, and I believe in them. But they both have their biggest tests yet. Covington is a big test for Usman.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and Robert Whittaker is the biggest test that Israel is ever had since he got signed to the UFC. So they both have the biggest test of their careers in front of them yet. And I'm interested to see how they deal with it. But you know, I'm backing both of my boys 100%. No shaking. You get me? No shaking. That's how we do it. But they got the biggest test of their careers yet.
It's like Dan says, just enjoy it. But I just feel that he's the more accomplished guy. My only concern with Israel is just how he likes to be tagged. But I don't expect that to be a huge factor in this fight. Although I'm saying that now, my man might be knocked out. But I don't expect Whittaker to cause him issues from a power perspective. More from a movement perspective will be, and I think that will suit Israel, actually. I think Israel will relish the chance of using angles and being innovative and trying to read patterns and then trying to formulate an attack off the back of it. So let's see. I'm sure Dana will be desperate for Israel to win. So let's see. But Guys, thank you so much for.
No, before we go, I can't let this slide without saying this, man. I can't let this one slide. Ola, should we say a charity match featuring Chig versus Lee with you as the referee? My thoughts. I couldn't let that. Shout out to David Trower, man. My man's been dropping everything.
Your tweets and your comments. Come up with shit like this right here.
So you asked for my thoughts. I would be very honored to call that fight, to be in that fight, they're reffing it. And again, may the best man win. You know what I mean? So now set it up, promote it, do what you need to do. And when it comes to fight day, let me know and I'll be there to ref the fight, man.
Oh,
that's a bit bad by Ola.
I put it back. Bad mind, Ola. Oh dear.
Nah, man, we're gonna have a laugh. Man. We're gonna have a laugh. But yeah, you know, both guys are my brethren. I love them I love them to the moon and back. Man. Both guys are they're my boys. Man, you get me. We rock it together more time when we're in the settings together. It goes mad. You know, latest one. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it. Pizzagate. It was crazy. Hella crazy.
He still blames you. He still blames you.
Yeah, man, it gets mad, man. It gets crazy, it gets wild. But yeah, thank you for having me tonight, man. It's another fun one. It's a fun one.
I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please do like this video. I'm hoping that because it's in Australia, they'll show it at an odd time, and maybe me and you can do a little something for it.
Yeah. Why not? You know.
They must show it. What, late afternoon tomorrow?
I'm not sure. Late afternoon to no. What? You're on about the standard Liège thing.
Oh, not tomorrow. Sorry, Saturday.
I was gonna say like tomorrow. Yeah, Saturday. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what time our side is gonna be. You know what I mean? But I'm doing 8 till 8 on Saturday. And so if it was going to be like an overnight thing, then definitely I'd be able to do it. But you know, it depends when I'm back and what time is on, what time the actual main eventing is on. You know.
All right. Well, let's see what we could do. But we could do some sort of a review or something, especially.
Oh yeah. Would love that. Would love that. Definitely.
But yeah, all right, guys. All right, we out of here. I'll be doing a preview to the Arsenal Standard Liège game probably before I go to work, and go from there. All right. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We out of here.
Thank you very much, guys. We'll do it for you. Salute. We out.
Peace. My brother.